Hey, welcome to the green room,
Oh
Laurie.
my goodness,
You
what a
got
long time coming.
you got enough room? It's crowded in here tonight. Holy smokes.
I missed it. I was trying to, my phone was telling me to turn it and it was already turned. And I was like, no, this is deja vu. I'm not turning my phone again.
Hey, Peter. Look at Peter's joined us all the way from Rockland, Maine. Holy smokes, he made the long voyage.
Did he bring some lobster?
Oh, we've got lobster. Do you want me to ship you some lobster? I could do that. You don't have
Ooh,
lobster out there in the state that's shaped like a lobster claw?
I live right here. And we have fresh water. Is there
Well,
freshwater lobsters?
Maine is shaped more like this, and they call this Scrotum Point. I live in Maine Scrotum.
Why? Why, Jareth? Why are we always starting off in the gutter? Oh my word. Let me get adjusted here so I'm the same size as you are. I don't like to be smaller. Am I bigger now? Am I bigger? Smaller?
No,
Bigger. Smaller. Bigger. How about that?
it's like Robert De Niro. Now you're De Niro, now you're DeFaro.
Ooh. I'm in my living room today. I like to mix it up.
Nice. Excellent. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Superb. So, how you doing tonight?
Oh, one of those days. You know, sometimes you have to have a little bit rough days so you can appreciate the sunny days.
Sunny Delight.
That's right. Oh, I used to love that. Did you drink Sunny Delight as a kid? Oh, my dog.
No,
My dog's here. There's a surprise.
I don't think it had caffeine in it.
You drank caffeine as a kid. Are you crooked? I'm crooked. Hang on.
No,
Oh,
I remember having get my mother to give me a cup of coffee when I was probably a teenager, and it was like half coffee and half cream and sugar. So it was more like a hot glass of cream and sugar.
I had my first cup of coffee when I was 15 years old in Greece. It was Turkish coffee. So I got broken in, was it baptism by fire? It's like, here's a cup of mud, kid. I'm like, okay. So now I just drink it strong, black, thick. Mm.
To lean back a little bit. Oh, did I tell you I had to buy new shoes for work?
No.
Yeah, I had to buy some work boots. These are my new work boots. But after I spent all that money on them, they wouldn't let me wear them to work. I don't know why.
It's ridiculous. Why not?
Ah, anything for a laugh. That's what I say. Nose itches. I must be lying again.
So here we are in the green room, Sunday night
Oh,
edition.
exciting news today.
Oh, we
Um,
could use
I think
some.
I think most people know by now that Burgers is closed, and that's where my open mic was for the past 3 months. Um, but we saw that coming, and we were already looking for another place. And I asked a few different people, and one of them that I really like is a microbrewery. And I figured that it's like a brand new place, it's a new building, it's really fancy, it's nice. I'm like, that was like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, this guy's never gonna call me. And lo and behold, he sent me an email today, said he's interested in having an open mic night on Wednesday nights, which is like perfect because that's the night we had before. So we're just
Yeah.
gonna hopefully seamlessly move right into a new mic. So I sent him a reply and told him I'd like to meet with him in person to go over the details. I hope that was the right thing to do. We'll find out.
Well,
Um,
it sounds like you learned some things from the other place too, so you'll be able to start this
yeah,
off on a good note.
don't work for free.
Well, no, I mean, oh, geez, that was. Oh, I'm sorry. I got a dog here with me.
Woo, woo, woo.
She's trying to hog the camera. Ruby, Ruby. Sorry, this is a professional production we're having
All
here.
right.
I'm not even gonna pretend to be all professional
All right.
because.
Well,
Well, congratulations.
we'll
That's
give
pretty
you.
exciting.
I think we can give you an 8.5 for that one. Oops,
Okay,
got it
she's
backwards. Sorry,
she's
8.5. That looks better.
She's lying down now. We're back to normal, except my camera's crooked. Good grief.
Oh,
You know,
I
Gilda
forgot my tree.
Radner, one of my favorite comedians, Gilda Radner, she used to say, it's always something. What are you doing? Are you growing marijuana?
I was hoping someone would say that. Oh, wait a minute. We got Steve. I got to wave to Steve. Hey, Steve. Welcome to the green room. It's a little crowded in here, so squeeze through. Anyway,
What
I
what are you doing?
Michael, how's it going? Welcome to the green room, Michael. I bought a money tree. I decided that it's too hard to work for money. I'm gonna make money. And if you
Money,
don't
money, money,
believe
money,
me,
money. No, I believe you. I have a whole bunch of them in the back of my property. They make the beautiful little white discs. They're cool. And purple flowers.
it's not coming in focus very well, but you can kind of read it. It says money tree. I didn't know there was any such thing as a money tree.
Yeah. How do you
I
think
saw
I
this.
pay for
I
my
saw this at
mortgage?
work. I saw this at work. I can't tell you where I work, but I bought this there. Oh, anyway. Hey, dude. How's it going? The dope room. Yes, I wish this was a dope room instead of just a regular green room, because then we could be making some serious coinage.
Is marijuana legal in Maine?
Well, every time somebody says that, I always say, you know what? It's against federal law, so it's not legal in any state, not even Colorado. But Maine legalized it for medical marijuana is legal by Maine law, which is still against the law in federal law. Mom told me money doesn't grow on trees, says
She was
Michael.
wrong.
Well, look, Mike, right here. It's growing right here. Well, I'll tell you what, you can't tell that to the lumberjacks in Maine. Paper mills and paper is pretty popular in Maine.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to blow right past your new news. That's kind of cool about the open mic. So you don't know if you're going to start this week? Probably need a week to ramp up and
I don't
spread
know
the
if we're
word,
going to
or?
start at all. I don't know if we're going to start at all yet. So I'm trying not to get my hopes up too high because it may not even work out. But
Well, certainly promising. I think
it
that's
is.
great timing. One door closes and a big old window just opened.
Okay, I'm sorry. Didn't mean
What?
to. I'm just checking messages. Okay, I don't want to miss anybody. So, did I tell you about my new joke?
The one that you were working on, when you had the
No,
collaboration, or a different
no,
one?
nope. This one just sprung. I was talking to my son on the phone, and he said something about. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, it just kind of came out of this conversation, and it was the people. There's a whole lot of people storming the gates at Area 51. And I think they're all going to give up when the government starts tear gassing them and they realize that they can't get anywhere. But there's going to be this big mob of people, so I think they're just going to have a big party. It's going to be the Burning Alien Festival. And if you don't know what Area 51 is, or if you've never heard of the Burning Man Festival, then the joke is wasted on you. Thanks, that was great.
I know what both of them were. I was just
You're
waiting.
a tough audience. So
I was waiting for the punch.
I told that to my friend Dan, who laughed. I was excited about that. He's a tough nut. And then he criticized me. Well, he didn't criticize me. He gave me some feedback and said I should drop the festival. I said, well, we'll think about it. Told it to my sister, and she laughed really hard, which was great. And she told me, don't drop the festival. So it was one of those situations where I started thinking about it, and who do you get feedback from? And do you trust their feedback? Now, I've noticed my sisters, they get my sense of humor because they've been living with me for a lot of years. They know me, I know them, and they laugh at most of my jokes, even the bad ones. So that's great for me. And it's wonderful when they come into one of my shows because even if no one else is laughing, they're so loud, they're laughing, drowning out everybody else. It's fantastic. And
Well,
they'll
it's
actually,
contagious too. If
it
somebody
is.
starts
Well,
laughing,
they
yeah.
laugh so hard. Hang on a second. No, go. I don't know what's going on with my phone tonight. Anyway, so that's great, but is it really good to judge my jokes by them? Well, I take it a little bit of that and go, well, it can't be too bad if they laughed really hard, but is it good for other people that aren't related to me? And then, like my friend Dan and Joe, they laughed, but they're friends and they're more likely to laugh to be nice to me because they're my friends. Although they can also be critical too. Um,
And
and
then
then
you
there are
tell it to
comedians
Laurie.
like Laurie, and Laurie doesn't get half my jokes.
No, 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 that's not accurate. I get
Well,
them.
I
I
think
like them.
it's a good thing you're way over there where I can't reach you.
No, there have been a couple that I don't get, and I say I don't get it. But
Well,
that's
also
not
some
always
of
the
it is
case.
regional. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's regional, and I understand that. You know, like when I'm watching the black and white TV at work and singing songs like "Green Acres is the
Yours is
place
the
to
place to
be."
be. I'm living is the life for me.
Blip, 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 blip. Oh, darling, there's such a wonderful track that you have there.
Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue. So yeah, feedback.
What do you think? I think
Well,
it's best to get it from an audience because then you get if you can make a whole audience laugh, it can't be too bad because then you got all kinds of different people, not just your friends and your family.
I don't think there's a cookie cutter quick answer to that because yeah, it just depends on so many things. Specifically, so Pacific Ocean. Specifically,
No, this is Atlantically over here.
specifically what your goal is. So if you are for now wanting to be a club comedian, well then you need to find out who's in the clubs and what kind of content makes them laugh. So if you can make your sister laugh and she's never going to be one of your audience members, then how relevant is that? But if your goal is more of for now, a bucket list or a casual item, and if you get a couple people to laugh, you're happy, then it doesn't matter. But when you're talking about, are you talking about feedback as far as do you think it's funny, do you laugh? Or are you just talking about in general, who do you listen to when you ask for any feedback? Because this is actually a very timely topic for me.
Yeah.
As I've mentioned a few times, I'm working on a very extensive new program for my motivational humor. And I'm working with a wonderful mentor whom I adore. I think she's credible. She's walked the talk, blah, blah, blah. Kudos, kudos. And it's hard to take criticism from her. But if I have said, okay, I'm on board, let's do it your way. I've been doing it not bad. I would actually like to take it to the next level. So now I'm agreement, I'm going to do it your way. And I bust my keister. And then she says, oh, I mean, she was nice, but she basically says garbage. It's garbage, Donna. It's garbage. So then this goes right into what you're saying. It's like, well, do I say, forget you, lady, I could do just fine, or do I say, okay, put my pride at the door, and if I'm willing to listen, if I think this is somebody who can help me meet my goal, and if I've agreed, whether it's happy or not so happy news, to try and follow it, then I feel I owe it to myself to put on my big girl panties and at least seriously consider what she's saying. So that kind of goes along with you with your jokes. You know, you can take evaluation and say, okay, he laughed. Laurie doesn't laugh. Laurie hardly ever laughs. My sister laughed. And then figure out which one of those are relevant to the objective you're trying to achieve. But it doesn't feel very good sometimes when people don't like what you do. I mean, you can say, oh, who cares? But let's be real. I mean, we know we can't please everybody, but You don't want to have somebody that something that you're fairly proud of, and then have them go, not really.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah. That happens. So when that happens, what I do is I look at it and I go, okay, if this person didn't like it enough to tell me to disappoint me, then I need to look at it and see if I can do anything with it, and then take that into consideration. Plus, what I like about the joke already, and what I think, and like the last joke, I didn't end up using it last week. I was going to, and then I decided I wasn't ready. I need to go over it some more because
The
it's
one
really
that the
the
break
one.
room one.
Yeah, it's really
There's
long, and I want to do the whole thing. I don't want to cut it down. Nat said to make it a little bit shorter, I think, and I kind of want to try it the way it is. Mostly, I'm gonna make a couple changes, but mostly the way it is. I want to try it because here's one of the things I've learned is that I have a little bit different style than some people, and if I do what everybody else says, then I'm not doing my humor. I'm doing somebody else's humor. So I can take the advice. There are certain things that are suggested as a general structure for comedy, but it doesn't mean that all my jokes are going to follow the exact same pattern that everybody else's jokes follow. And there are a lot of examples. I think you had mentioned Louis C.K.
mm-hmm.
I mean, Rodney Dangerfield. He's not like everybody else. There are a lot of people who don't follow the rule of the rule of three and the set up premise. Punchline and tag. Not everybody does that, and some of the people who I think are really funny are like that.
Well,
So,
yeah, Louis C.K. is a more of a storyteller. He's funny, but a lot of it's in his delivery, not with the punch tag system.
and that's kind of more like what I want to do because my favorite comedians that I grew up with are the Maine down east Yankee humorist, and they're more of a storytelling type of joke. Some of them they'll have a punchline or a tag or a callback, but those come from more of a story. There's like the setup is like, I'm from this farm in Berwick, and I grew up there with four sisters, and I yada a bunch of stuff that at first I thought, well, this isn't all necessary, and I said that to well, I guess I can call him a mentor, so officially a mentor. I mentioned it to him that, boy, well, these guys like Bert and I and Tim Sample, they tell these long stories. They got a bunch of stuff there that's not necessary, and he said probably everything that they say is necessary for the joke. And I felt kind of like you, like I felt let down, like I had this great long story joke that I thought was perfect, and he just shredded me. So I went back and listened to some more Bert and I and Tim Sample and their long Maine down east comedy stories. And for the most part, I could see that everything they said was pertinent to the story. It was necessary to make the whole story what it was.
But it
They
has to have
hit
that payoff, right? They can tell a long story, but if it's just a long story, you're going to lose people. It has to have that payoff to it's like, okay, all of this is relevant, and here now, oh goodness, that is very funny. Let me take a break. Steve's got a quick question here. It says, here's my question. How many ladies need to tell me not to do a joke? I act out a large lady trying on a swimsuit before I don't do it. So far, it's unanimous. I have an opinion about that.
Which way? To tell you not to do it? To tell you to do it?
What do you think? How many people?
It's unanimous, but two people told him not to do it? Is that what you're going to say?
No, here's my take on it. Because I'm a woman. WOMAN. I'm a woman. Oh, sorry.
Prove it.
I haven't already with my attitude. With
All right.
my
I believe
attitude.
you. I believe you. I believe you. It's been proved.
Steve, this is really and this is maybe a little bit different than being politically correct and being snowflakes and all that. But as far as women are concerned right now, we are in the age of body positivity, and it doesn't matter what size you are, and size doesn't matter. And in the women's community, this is a huge topic, no pun intended, right now. And so it shouldn't matter what size somebody is. If they're size 2, or if they're fluffy, if they're curvy, or if they're not that. So when you were first talking about your joke, my personal as a woman feeling was, who cares what size woman it is? If you're doing a bit about a woman in a bathing suit and it's funny, then go for it. But if part of your joke is because the woman was not too small, I think you are going to isolate quite a few women. Might be a good old boys joke to tell, but if there's women in your audience, more than likely most of them are not going to love it.
I would go along with that. But getting back to Louis C.K. and Bill, who's the
Her?
other guy? Burr. Thank you. You're like two guys I'm not real fond of, but I've made myself watch them, even though I don't really like them, and they're funny. And there's no doubt about it. There's a reason why they're popular and rich. Um, I don't think they would have any problem doing what Steve just said, but they would they would be able to make it funny. Don't ask me how. I don't know how they do it, but they can take the
Partly
most
because
controversial thing and still make it funny. And if Steve's going to do this, he's going to make sure it's funny, and he's not. If he's going to insult certain women, he's got to find a way to also, at the same time, make them feel good. I would think, if you want them to laugh and be happy and not drive them out of the crowd.
yeah, you don't want to punch down ever. But as far as Louis C.K. and some
No,
of
I
the
don't.
other guys, we know. I mean, if you know what you're getting into with them, and if you're not familiar with Louis C.K. after you watch one show of his, you will be. And he says a lot of inappropriate things, and I
Yeah.
think it's funny. Some people are like, I can't stand him. I think he's disgusting. But you know what you're getting with him. So, Steve, unless that's going to be your persona that you have decided you're going to kind of, no, I don't get any respect. You know, I mean, if you're going to go a little bit more on the insulty side, but if you just all of a sudden whip that in there and that's not normally part of who you are, it's going to be a
Good
little
point.
surprising. Like, where did this come from out of the blue? Last thing I know, he was talking about a guy in a bar wearing a Superman suit. And now he's dogging on women. You know, it's going to just
Right.
kind of be incongruent to like, who is he? What does he stand for? Where's his voice? I mean, I would say take some time and figure that out, maybe.
And that's a really good point because you figure somebody like Louis C.K. and Bill Burr, they're probably not doing church outings.
No.
So you got to know what your audience is. You know, if you want to do church outings, you don't want to be insulting. If you want to do, I don't know, whatever Louis C.K. and Bill Burr and
Big arenas for the big bucks.
you know, it's it's like it's like I love to watch John Oliver last night tonight and um, Bill Maher and you know all those mostly guys that are really far left, Trump haters, and they make fun of Trump and they make fun of Republicans and all that stuff. Well, if they were in a regular club, they would totally divide the room, obviously. But because they have a huge following of snowflakes and Democrats and left wingers and Trump haters or whatever you want to call them, they can say whatever they want and people will laugh and love them. But if you tried to take those guys and take say, you know, a Republican audience, that he wouldn't get one laugh. They'd kick him out of the place. So I always say that you can do whatever you want, but you got to figure you're going to have to build up your audience. People aren't just going to, everyone in the room is not
Right.
going to love your style if you're not trying to make it lovable for everybody. You know,
No,
if
that's
all you want
key.
to do is I hate women jokes, then you're going to drive all the women out, and eventually you'll only have men in your
Well,
audience.
and I've heard
But
Ian say, do the material that you like and that makes you funny, and your audience will find you, which I think is very true for what you just said, Jareth, about the
mhm.
guys who have made it fairly big. Their audience has found them, and so they're very much okay if the right wingers don't appreciate them, but they seem to be doing quite well filling auditoriums full of the left. But
Now,
a lot of
on the
people
other
starting
hand,
out, they're not in that position yet.
there you go. That's exactly my point. You're starting out. Do you want to start out like that? No, you could. It's just going to be a lot harder to work your way up to be famous. I think this is just my opinion. If you were more clean and everybody liked you to start, you'd get more notice. You'd have more followers. You'd get a better chance of getting jobs in various different clubs. You wouldn't be limited to what clubs you can and can't do, or get a spot on TV. A Tonight Show or something like that. You got to be clean, and then start working your way towards something that's a little more offensive. But
is
then
Johnny
again,
Carson still on the Tonight Show?
no,
I don't stay up that late.
you're showing your age now.
Okay, so Steve said, I'm thinking this might fix it, a misdirect. You think I'm talking about a woman, but no, it's a teddy bear, huge guy who teaches kindergarten and kids love him.
Yep, here we are again. He's a huge guy. Why is he a huge guy?
Why does his body size matter? That's the whole body positivity thing. It's very big in the women's community, but it does not escape the men's either. So
I think you could say teddy bear, and people who know a teddy bear refers to a big guy.
Big and fluffy.
A lot of people will take that as a gay innuendo, because big hairy guys that are gay are called teddy bears. Yes, I do know this.
That. I didn't know that.
I'm not a teddy bear lover myself, but I do know that expression. But obviously, not everybody does.
I didn't know.
You could just say teddy bear, and he teaches kindergarten. Now all of a sudden, what I just said just ruined his joke. Teddy bear teaching kindergarten. Oh my!
Try it, Steve. Take it somewhere and see how it goes. If you get an audience that doesn't laugh, then you know it doesn't work. But that's Ian's old thing. Try it. See what happens. You won't know if it works or doesn't work till you try it.
Send it up to flagpole. See who salutes it. I like that. Well, anyway.
Feedback. Yeah. So I don't. You have to be careful here. Listen to these words. What does this do to your psyche? If I say critique, suggestion, feedback, opinion. Why do all those words kind of be like, they're necessary though, right? To some degree. I think you have to be very careful though. People shop for answers until they get the one they like.
Say, if you want to do this, if you want to be a comedian, you got to have a little bit of a thick skin, because you're going to hear all different things from all different people, including hecklers, and you got to be able to let it roll off. You can't take things too personally. When Dan said drop the festival, my first reaction was, what does he know? He's not a comedian. Then I thought, well, maybe he's right. So I gave it some thought, and I don't agree. But I haven't used it at the open mic yet. Maybe if I say it at the open mic, I'll find out it doesn't work anyway.
Well, I thought the Area 51 thing is passe already. I mean, that was hit the news 2 weeks ago, right? I mean, I feel like it's not very timely. That's kind of, I was like, oh gosh, you're not still talking about Area 51, are you?
2 weeks? You think 2 weeks is all that lasts the news story now? Because I only just heard about it.
Yeah, big time. He's done.
But then I don't really watch the news, so that's why I don't usually do.
That's why I was kind of like,
I don't do observational humor because I don't watch the news. I don't really pay attention. I like to do my own thing.
There you go.
So.
Yeah, that whole alien thing. I mean, it started out as a joke and then it went crazy, but it was kind of like, okay, been there, done that. Okay, well, definitely not the woman, maybe the large guy. August 1st, my next opportunity to try it, maybe.
So Steve was just a victim of two people slicing his work apart. Let's hear from Steve how he liked feedback, seeing as how that's what we were talking about.
Maybe we shouldn't ask Steve.
Steve, give us some feedback on your feedback.
Maybe we shouldn't ask Steve about feedback coming from
us.
One of the two of us here. Some of us may have been. No, I appreciate when people ask me my opinion, and I will tell you, but I also tell them, take what you like and discard the rest. I will always tell you what I think, but that doesn't mean it's the right answer.
Although I will score your critique of our critique, and I'll tell you ahead of time. My lowest score is a 5.0. So I won't score anybody lower than a 5.0. Promise.
Okay, Steve, tell us what you think of Jareth's critique of what you were asking.
I think his
What?
joke gets 8.5.
Oh, wait. I got an 8.5 or something earlier, too. I want it while he's thinking about it.
After all that critique, I want to encourage him to go out and do it and see what happens.
You just got done talking about, can you see every time I pet my dog, I'm coming up with a handful of, I could make you guys all a sweater for everybody watching us right now. You said you got to have thick skin. That's kind of a cliche. I mean, it's true, but I don't have thick skin. I cry a lot. And I know that it's like, okay, really tough old bird redhead. But it's like, how do you get thick skin? It's one thing to acknowledge that, yes, you absolutely do. And yes, not everybody's going to like you. And yes, people are going to say stuff, blah, blah, blah. And if you can't handle it, you shouldn't be on stage, blah, blah, blah. But how do you get thick skin? You just have people tell you bad things all the time? Do you not like my ponytail? Tell me something so I can get used to it.
You get thick skin by hanging out with a bunch of bikers.
Maybe that's why I have soft, tender skin.
No, every time you cry, you'd get someone to slap you in the face. Bam! Suckling. That's how it was. That's how it was when I grew up. My household, I started crying. My dad was like, "Shut up! I'll give you something to cry about."
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I'll give you something to cry about. You know, one time my dad pedaled my behind, and I said, "That didn't hurt."
Oh, geez, that's the wrong thing to say.
Yeah. Oh, the second one did though. Okay.
Steve says 7.2, 8.6 for Laurie.
You know why? Because he's somewhat local to me, so he can say whatever he wants about you, Jareth, but he knows I'm local, so he has to be nice to me. No, Steve, I tried to tell you at first, right? I will be straight up with you what I think. It's up to you to do what you want with that information, but I'm not a bakery. I don't sugarcoat, and I probably should a little bit. When I worked in the corporate world and I was sending out documents, my secretary used to say, why don't you let me take a quick look at it first and just soften it up a little bit before we send it out. And I'd be like, no, it's fine. And she's like, no, we need to soften it up a little bit. So maybe I need somebody to soften up my words a little bit. Or maybe people just need to get thick skin. How about that?
Sure. Jim is watching one of the open mics I used to go to. He used to host the one that I posted. The looks like we need some comic remediation.
Oh yeah,
I love that bit. I love that bit. That was a lot of fun. I don't know if I learned a whole lot about comedy going there, but boy, I sure had a lot of fun. I learned.
Well, there you go. Why do it if you're not having fun?
Yeah. I feel like the more open mics I do, the more comfortable I get being at the mic, even if I'm not learning jokes, just I'm learning to be on stage, or not. It's not usually even a stage, but just getting comfortable being in front of people.
I tell you, I have a busy fall ahead with a lot of conferences and meetings, and I'm working a lot this fall. But this summer has been really not slow for me because I've been extremely busy, but it's been slow stage time. Oh man, I miss it. It's like I need to go up and tell some jokes. But I'm just very focused. I'm laser focused, and then I will be telling jokes. I'm just not writing, I'm writing a very long program, so I got to hunker down. I got to do my work before I can go and play.
No,
but
it's
I do miss
how
it.
I am right now. I haven't been doing much open mics at all. I've been trying to make some money and pay some bills so I can have a place to live. I mean, having a place to live is fairly important.
That's one of those things on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, isn't it? I think a roof over your head.
Well, I don't know. When I was younger, I would just settle for living in my van down by the river. Living in a van down by the river.
I lived in a Vega wagon. I didn't have a van.
I lived in a
A
van.
green, it was a green Vega wagon. I was in the green room way back then.
Wow.
In the 80s, I lived in a green room called the Green 1978 Vega wagon with a luggage rack on top. It was cool.
I lived in a 74 Ford van, Econoline van, the one that had the engine between the two front seats. Do you remember those?
Isn't that the one that looked like the child molester vans? They were just big, huge, some of Shaggy and
I don't know.
Scooby vans.
Probably. Sounds like it. Yeah, I lived in one of those for a couple of weeks, and then I remember when I was between truck driving jobs, and I was living in my truck. And when I changed jobs, I had to live in my car for a few days while I was getting my new truck. And I had a Delta 88, 85 Delta 88, and I could pretty much stretch right out in the back seat. That's how big that car was. I missed that car.
So, hey, everybody in TV land, what's going on? Questions, comments, concerns, funny stories? Something
Steve
make you
says,
angry?
definitely straight up. I am looking forward to getting whatever reaction I get. We'll let you know.
Do we still have Peter? Michael, did you guys stick around? Did you
Peter's
leave?
hanging in there. He's been quiet, but he's been hanging in there, which is pretty good. Thanks, Peter.
You said that's pretty good. Does he not always hang in there?
Well, a lot of people come and go. It's a
Oh,
lot of people.
yeah.
They come in the green room and they're like, it's kind of crowded and stuffy in here. I'm gonna go get some fresh air outside. I'll be back in a minute. You know,
Well, and
that,
it's a weird time. For us out east, it's going on 9 o'clock, so we're winding down. We're settling in. Out west, right? It's 5 o'clock. They're still out,
yeah. And
whatever they do at 5 o'clock.
I'm getting get up at like 6:30 tomorrow. I'm actually working an 8-hour day. I haven't worked an 8-hour day in like 9 months. This is gonna be really hard.
Peter's
Hey,
still
Peter.
stuck here. Well, we're glad you are, Peter. Jareth, you're on my hours now. Want me to send you a text to make sure you're up at 5?
No, I'm not getting up at 5. I gotta be at work at 8, so I should be up. I'll probably get up at 7, and then just throw my clothes on and run out the door. That's what I do when I don't want to get up too early.
What? You're not gonna put your face on, have coffee, and curl your hair and everything?
Nope.
Put your new work boots on?
I'm just gonna run into work all sweaty and stinky and smelly, and they can just deal with it.
Oh, I'm glad I don't
Peter
go
says,
there.
"Thanks for the entertainment." Well, you're welcome, Peter. That's what we're here for.
So, anything else going on this week, Jareth, that you know of? It sounds like you got a couple potentials, but anything?
Yeah, no, I got one job for my side jobs. I got to mow the lawn for my sister, which is a pretty good gig because she lives on the farm. She lives on the farm where I grew up. She
She
bought it off
lives
my
where?
father.
On the what?
Berwick. In
On the
Berwick, she's
farm? She
on the
was on a
farm.
farm.
Yeah, Baba. She lives on the farm in Berwick.
Farm.
It's where I
What's
grew up.
a
Yes, sir.
farm?
A farm. That's where you have cows and pigs and horses and sheep and
Ah,
goats.
sorry, I didn't realize you said a farm.
I don't know what that is. I
Farm.
never heard of that. I grew up on a
Farm.
farm.
Old MacDonald had a farm.
Farm. Yeah,
Farm.
yeah. Oh, they should change that.
I give that
Oh, Ned Beatty had a farm. Yeah, yeah.
I score
Little
you
like a
a
pig.
3.2.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm gonna have to take your 3.2 and I'm gonna raise you 11 because you are so awesome.
Oh my goodness, for me. For me. You just did that because you know I don't have thick skin, so thank you.
No, I don't either. So
Maybe if we tell each other how much we suck more often, then we will get thick skin. That's terrible. That's
Yep.
garbage.
Nah,
How about
I have a
that?
feeling I suck more than you do.
I'm not touching that. Nope, not
Yeah,
gonna do it.
that's what
Mm-mm,
he said.
not doing it. Not gonna do it. But you notice you haven't noticed I haven't, I usually have tea or water or something next to me, and my beverage is across the room. I'm getting a little thirsty. So,
Peter says no coffee for 3 weeks. Oops. 3 weeks, and you two will keep me awake all night. 11 for you both.
oh,
Oh, Peter, thank you so much.
we
We're going to
love
have
you,
to give
Peter.
Peter an 11 back. There you go, Peter. Thank you.
Aw. Steve says busy August, 6 or 7 comedy extravaganzas. Wow, extravaganza.
And is Steve participating or observing in these?
I don't know, but they're extravaganzas.
I want to have a comedy festival in Berwick. I wanted to do
Maybe I'll
one this
come.
year, but I think I was biting off more than I could chew, so to speak. So
What's
maybe
the
next year.
closest? What's the closest airport to Berwick?
Pease International Jetport in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, or Portland International Jetport in Portland, Maine.
I don't
And
like
then the
to
next,
drive. I like
and
to
then the
have
next
pilots
biggest one
drive me.
would be Boston, Logan Airport.
Oh, don't get me started. My daughter's been stuck in Boston since 6:30 this morning. I've been trying to help her all day long, trying to get out of
I
it.
thought you said she was at JFK.
No, she's leaving from JFK,
Because if
but
she's in Boston, I can go pick her up. That's not far away.
well, too late now. She's been there since 6:30 a.m. She's been
If
in
she can come,
Boston. She had a flight to Newark. They canceled it. She had to go from Newark to take a shuttle to get to JFK, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's just a thing. And as a mama bear wants to, she's 20 something, 20 something. She's an adult, but it's like, oh, she's all by herself.
did she have time to get to catch a cup of coffee while she was in New York? Have a cup of coffee?
She hasn't made it to New York yet. She's still in Boston. Boston. Still in
Boston.
Boston.
Boston. Hey, Bubba.
She has to leave at
Yeah, well, she's
midnight
gonna.
tonight.
So I could have gone and picked her up in Boston. She could have come up here and stayed in one of the empty apartments. There's 3 empty apartments in this.
No, she has to leave New York tonight. She's got to catch
New
a
York, New
flight.
York,
She's going
big, big
international, baby. Got to
city in
get her.
England.
Got to get her passport stamped. All right. I'm hot.
To
I know
trot now, baby.
that.
Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to say that.
I probably shouldn't tell. I'm hot, everybody. In
Performing.
case you didn't know,
Yeah.
I'm hot. I'm
Steve
always
says
hot.
performing. Steve says performing Dr. Grins on the 8th. Very excited. Yay, Steve. Do it.
Watch that time, buddy. Watch your clock.
Peter says you're welcome. Thanks for the 11. Anytime, Peter. Thanks for helping out with our open mic. I don't know if you caught the beginning of the show, but it looks like we're going to be starting a new open mic with a little bit of luck. I got a call from someone today. So keep your gas tank full.
I would like to say something about that. Take what you like, discard the rest. If you start fresh, I think it's fabulous that you filmed every comic and you supplied them with video. I think you should charge a little bit of something if you're going to do that regularly, or if they want you to.
I'm gonna.
Your
I've
time
decided
is valuable, Jareth
it's
Johnson.
too much work and it takes too much time,
Thank you.
and I'm just gonna figure out how much to charge.
That's
You
right.
know, because I want to be fair and reasonable, and it's I want people to have their videos so because it's gonna help them.
But they could
Get your
also bring their own.
motivated.
They could film their own too. I mean, I agree. You should absolutely, but have them take responsibility for their own set and have them bring their phone in. Or there's a guy here who does charges, and I paid $20 because I don't have to worry about it. It's a good, clean set. It sounds good, and he donates it to charity or a part of it, and I'm totally happy with that.
Yeah, I could do that. I could donate to charity. I could donate to the Jareth Johnson comedy broke as hell Help Me Out Fund.
You should make it an acronym though. JJBAH. All right, it's getting really, really hot in here. So
Yeah, it's getting late. So all you
I
people who
am
came too late and didn't get your questions typed out in time for us to answer them for you, sorry, but we'll do this again once or twice during the week, and then we'll be back next Sunday, same bat time, same bat channel.
all right. Let's do it. Thanks for inviting me into your green room. And thanks for
Thanks for coming.
everybody for watching. Michael
Yeah,
and Peter and Steve. Did we miss anybody? I don't want to miss
really.
anybody.
Greg was here
Lurkers.
for a little while.
Greg was here. Jim was here. And you lurkers. And all you future people in TV land. Thank you for
CJ
watching.
Hightower.
CJ Hightower.
He didn't ask any questions because he's a real comedian. He doesn't need to ask questions.
I follow him
Michael?
on social media. All right. I'm
do
really
too.
gonna go now
Michael,
because
Dave?
I am not gonna have a hot moment here on camera. I'm just not gonna do it. It's that
Okay.
time of night, and I'm getting really hot.
So thank you all for joining us in the green room. It's a little stuffy and hot in here because Laurie's giving off steam. We're gonna have to put an air conditioner in the window, I think, for the next show.
It's really hot. And it's getting dark in here. I gotta let my puppies outside before it gets dark. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Yep. And pray that
And
my
your money plan.
grows lots of money. And we'll see you next time. Follow both of our pages, and we'll post probably a minute or two before we do the next show during the week. But we'll definitely be back here next Sunday.
All right. Have a good one. See ya.
Okay. See ya.